Well, I gotta be honest with you, I am doing a lot better since the breakup. It's been a few days now. I've had a lot of time to sit and think in my hotel room slash prison cell. Yeah, for some reason, this hotel room, it kind of feels like a prison cell. I've been feeling a lot like I'm trapped here, claustrophobic, paranoid. But I think a big part of that is the fact that this is just unfamiliar territory. I'm in a new place. It's sort of like going to a new prison. But over these past few days, I have had a lot of time to sit and think. That's pretty much all I've done. And there's two different things that I've thought about quite a bit over these last few days. The first thing that I've thought about is all the times that I dealt with breakups while locked up and just how bad those really suck. The stories I could tell you about different girlfriends leaving me while I was locked up. In fact, that was almost about to be today's video, but that would have been a sad video. And the second thing that I've thought about quite a bit throughout this is just all of the times that I lived in a hotel room and all of the crazy shit that I went through during those times from my past. I actually spent quite a bit of my life living out of a hotel room, either for the fact that I had nowhere else to go, or the worser reason, because I was on the run and I had warrants out for my arrest. So laying low in a hotel room was pretty much the only option. So because of the fact that I have spent quite a bit of time thinking about those crazy times from my past when I was living out of a hotel room, I decided that in today's video, I want to tell you about 5 crazy hotel stories from my past. All are completely different and completely crazy. So without further ado, let's begin. The first crazy hotel story I want to tell you about deals with a time when me and a buddy of mine were living out of a hotel because we had nowhere else to go. We were both working a construction job. We were actually doing concrete work, as ironic as that is. But during this time, we were both working as brick mason laborers. Collectively, we were not making a lot of money. And because of that, we really struggled when it came to actually having a place to stay. I remember we were living in one hotel and we really just couldn't afford it. So we had to move out and find a cheaper hotel. But I'll never forget how we went to this one hotel all the way downtown in this really bad city. I mean, this hotel was literally located right across the street from one of the worst housing projects in the city. And when we first pulled into this hotel, I believe it was called the Traveler's Lodge. I'll never forget how we parked the car on the side of the hotel. You could see windows from the rooms right there in front of us, and how there was actually a bullet hole in one of the windows from one of the rooms. Well, I'm pretty sure this place will be affordable considering the fact that there is a bullet hole in one of the windows. And I'll never forget when we went to the front desk to try to check into a room, how when we walked in there, the owner of the hotel behind the desk, I believe this guy may have been Indian, but he was sitting back there and he was on his computer. And when you walk up to the front desk, you can clearly see like the screen of his computer right there. He wasn't paying us any mind at all. He was literally just on his computer. And as we looked at the screen, this guy was just looking at porn right there out in the open at the front desk of this hotel. This was pretty damn crazy. We walked up to the front desk and again, this guy wasn't even paying us any mind whatsoever. We literally hit the bell. Ding ding! He's right there looking at the computer. I mean, he was glued to the screen. Ding ding! Huh? Can I help you? Yeah, we're trying to find out about getting a room for the week and how much that's gonna cost. Oh, yes. 1 minute. I'm quite sure I had a good idea of what this guy was doing while looking at that porn. This guy at the front desk introduced himself as Danny, and Danny told us that it would be $215 a week to live here. That's pretty damn cheap. So immediately we booked a room for the week, and in fact we would end up living at this hotel for a couple of months. But while we were first checking into the room, Danny mentioned the fact, he said, hey look, the room is $215 a week, but if you can get me some girls, we might be able to work out a deal. Do you know any girls? Yeah. Bring me some girls, Danny said, and I'll cut you a deal. I'm not a pimp. I'm a construction laborer. He said, it's okay. But if you know any girls, I'll give you a deal. Okay, Calm down. Thank you for the room. Again, we lived at this hotel for a couple of months. I never have seen a hotel with more prostitutes and drug activity in my entire life than this place here. In fact, on every weekend, there would literally be in the parking lot of this hotel a regular city police car, an unmarked car, and a K9 unit SUV that would just sit in this hotel parking lot. It was pretty crazy. And being how me and my buddy, who were both construction laborers at the time, were single, we did at times have a few different girls come to the room to visit us. Not prostitutes. Girls that we actually knew who we would be dating or whatever. But what is crazy is every time a chick would show up to visit either me or my buddy, no sooner than that girl pulled into the parking lot and got up to the room, the phone in the room would ring immediately. Hello? It's Danny from the front desk. Do you got any girls? Danny, I'm sorry. This is my girlfriend. Are you sure? Danny, I gotta go, man. But unfortunately, we ended up getting kicked out of that hotel. Craziest damn thing ever. But Danny decided he wasn't gonna rent to us anymore because we never brought him any girls. Crazy hotel story number 2. This story takes place in a different hotel in a different city, but there was this chick that I was kind of dating at the time. And there are so many stories I can tell you about just my dealings with this chick alone. I could fill up like 2 weeks of content on crazy shit involving her. But me and this chick, we met at a bar one night, and from there we just began dating. She had a kid's father who lived in Maryland. She was from Maryland, Baltimore in fact. And I actually lived with this chick for a few months, but her drinking was so fucking out of control that I had to go. And when I left, I ended up moving into a hotel, the hotel in fact where this story takes place at. And after I left and ended up moving into that hotel, she would still call me from time to time. And she told me during one of these phone calls that her kid's father was coming down to Virginia and they were gonna work things out. That's great, I thought. That would be perfect for your kids to have the family back together. That is a great thing. But it was only a short time later, after the kid's father was back in the picture, that she began to call me telling me how miserable she was with this guy. And from there, she began showing up at my hotel room. I was not comfortable with this at all. In fact, this only happened twice. The first time she showed up, she was like, "Joe, I hate this guy. He makes me so miserable." You're already pretty miserable as it is. You do drink a lot. And not really helping the situation at all, I said, "Hey, do you want to go get a drink? Because I really don't want you here. We can go get a drink and that can be it." So we did go get a drink and that was it. She left. She went home. But there was a second time when she showed up at my hotel room, and this time she actually ended up coming inside of my hotel room. I never did anything with this chick. I swear, that is my good word. She came into the hotel room and just immediately began to tell me just how miserable she was, how much she hated this guy. I'm like, why are you here telling me this? I don't care. And it couldn't have been but like 10 minutes after she showed up, there was a knock at my hotel door. "Joe, open the door." Who the fuck is that? Oh my God, that's my kid's father. He's here. "Joe, open the door. I know she's in there." Holy shit, I don't even know this dude. You told me this guy's like a killer. I said, "You gotta hide. You gotta hide." And there was really nowhere to hide. I think she ended up hiding in the bathroom, in the shower. And for some crazy reason, I ended up with her cell phone in my hand. Like, I don't even know how I got this phone. But as I opened the door of the hotel room, I'm sitting there trying to put this phone on vibrate and put it in my pocket at the same time. This kid's father came into the room. I mean, he pretty much just barged into the room. Boom. "Where's she at, Joe? I know she's in here." Dude, I have no idea who you are or what you're talking about. "Where's Crystal?" "She's not here." "Well, you're the only person she knows down here, and I figured she would be here." Dude, I'm telling you, I don't know where she's at. And then the craziest damn thing happened. This guy pulled out his cell phone and called her phone. And when he did, her cell phone began ringing in my pocket. I thought I put this thing on vibrate. When that phone began ringing in my pocket, this dude looked at me like he was about to kill me. In fact, this guy drew back on me harder than he was about to shoot a bow and arrow. Dude, wait. You got the wrong idea. Let me tell you what's going on. Crystal, she's really unhappy right now. She's actually hiding right there in the shower. Crystal, come out. We got caught. You're here. And this dude, he didn't hit me. Thank God, because this dude was huge. I mean, he was a monster. He probably would have kicked my ass inside of this hotel room. She came out, immediately began arguing with him right there. I can't stand you. I'm so miserable with you. This guy pretty much didn't know what to say or do. He was just standing there like shocked, like, I can't believe she was hiding in the shower. And then he said the craziest thing ever to me. He said, Joe, how much are you paying a week here in rent? I'm paying like $250 a week. Why? Because you're gonna move back in with us and you can live there for free. What? Why? He said, because you're the only person she knows down here, and if we get to arguing, she ain't gotta go anywhere. You'll be right there. Your logic in this situation doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense, but okay. Free rent? I'm in. And if you're wondering how that entire situation played out, it did not play out very well at all. In fact, that was a very short-lived idea this guy had. But that is a story for another time. Crazy hotel story number 3 deals with a time when we were like having a party in a hotel room. It was me, a couple of my friends, and a couple of chicks. And one of my friends, he was not very good with the ladies at all. In fact, we had never seen this guy ever have any luck whatsoever when it came to a female. I mean, this guy was pretty damn awkward. But it just so happened that on this one particular night at this one particular hotel, during this little party that we were having, this guy was about to strike gold with one of these chicks. And in fact, he ended up in the hotel bathroom with one of these girls. But while he was in the bathroom with this girl, me and another buddy of mine had to go down to the car to get like some more beer or something. And while doing so, I'll never forget how the owner of the hotel, or the manager of the hotel, was out in the parking lot, basically like right next to us, on the phone with the police. Yes, I've told them many times tonight they have too many people coming in and out of the rooms. Please send the police. Hearing that phone call, we knew it was time to go. In fact, me and my buddy, we took off right there on the spot. We ran and we got across the street to a gas station where we were able to call another buddy of ours who was in the room. And I called this guy. I said, Johnny, listen to me. You need to get everybody out of the room right now. The police are on the way. Meet us across the street at the gas station. And it wasn't 5 minutes later that the car pulled up full of people. We jumped into this car and we took off. And the car actually belonged to our awkward buddy who was in the hotel bathroom with this chick, about to get lucky when we heard the phone calls letting us know it was time to get out of there. So our awkward buddy is driving the car. We have no idea where we're going at this point. We're on the road for probably about 30 minutes before we really start talking about what happened. And I said, it's so crazy how you were just about to get lucky with this chick when we had to pretty much just get out of there right then. And awkward buddy says, I know, man. I was this close, literally this close. I was so close, in fact, I've still got the condom on right now. We've been on the road for 30 minutes since leaving the hotel room. You still have the condom on? This guy was called Awkward Buddy for a reason. Crazy hotel story number 4 deals with that same construction laborer buddy of mine. And this was during a time when we were living at a different hotel. We had some friends who were out of town who were talking about coming back in town. They didn't have any way to get back, but I told those friends if they did figure out how to get back, they could come stay with us at the hotel where we were staying until they figured out what to do next. And then one day they just showed up. In fact, they had this red SUV. I think it was like a Nissan Pathfinder or something like that. But they showed up with this SUV and they said, hey, we found a way to get back. Well, congratulations. I'm glad you guys are back. And that's a pretty nice SUV you've got there. And one of my buddies told me, he said, yeah, I know. We just got it. In fact, we stole it. That's not really good. And these friends of ours who were out of town, who came back in town with a stolen Nissan Pathfinder, they didn't last very long with this stolen vehicle at all. I remember one day I went to go pay the weekly rent and the woman in the office asked me, she said, hey, whose red SUV is that in the parking lot? I said, oh, it's one of my buddies. It's his car. And she said, oh, okay, no big deal. No big deal at all. I just wanted to make sure it was somebody who was staying at the hotel. No sooner than when this woman questioned me about this SUV, I went right back into the hotel room, woke my buddy up who was asleep on the floor. I said, hey dude, you gotta wake up. You gotta get rid of this SUV. The woman in the office is asking questions about it. I think she knows it's stolen. My buddy said, oh, I ain't worried about that. Nobody knows this vehicle's stolen. I'm telling you, man, this woman just asked me a bunch of questions about this SUV. You need to move it. It'll be okay. Okay. It wasn't an hour later before there was a knock at the hotel door. I say knock, but it was more like a boom, 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 boom. Police, open the door. Open the door. Police, search warrant. I told you to move that SUV. Everybody in the room is freaking out. People are trying to hide inside of the trash can. There's really no hiding or escaping from most hotel rooms, especially when the police have it surrounded. I opened the front door. Hello, can I? Boom! Police stormed into the room. Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Everybody on the ground now! We're all laying on the ground in handcuffs and they're asking questions about who is driving the SUV. And with nobody willing to say anything at this moment, the police continued to search the room, found the car keys inside of the shoes of my buddy, and the woman at the front desk actually ID'd my buddy and the other guy as the two occupants of this vehicle. They were taken to jail right there on the spot, and the police told me, you should really pay more attention to who you let stay with you at this hotel. Great advice, officer. Thank you very much. Goodbye. My buddy ended up getting like 6 months for that stolen vehicle. Crazy hotel story number 5. This is the last crazy hotel story for this video. And this involves a time when I was staying at a hotel by myself. I was actually on the run. I had a warrant out for my arrest for a probation violation. This room that I was staying in was actually put under the name of a chick who I was seeing at the time. And there was also an ex-girlfriend who was in the picture at the time who I was having a lot of problems with. But I will never forget how I only stayed at this hotel for one night, and the morning after how I was woken up inside of this hotel room with the room phone ringing. Hello? And it was that ex-girlfriend who was on the phone, and what she told me was, yo dog, I just passed by that hotel you're staying at. How do you even know where I'm staying at? And that whole place is surrounded by police. You're going to jail. I got up out of the bed, I put my shoes on, and I watched from underneath the crack of the door as I could see the shadow of the cars driving through the parking lot, and I could hear the squeaky brakes of those police cars. And maybe not 2 minutes later, the front door of the hotel room was kicked in. Boom! Police, get on the ground! And I was thrown onto the ground, handcuffed, and taken to jail. Hey, look. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did so, please leave a like and a comment letting me know exactly what you thought about these crazy hotel stories. As always, enjoy life, the free world, never take a moment for granted, and make the most of every day. Peace!